Hi guys, Andy here. I've been lucky enough to have a play with the Samsung Galaxy S5, the Sony Xperia Z2 and now the HTC One M8. They're probably the three main runners, kind of the main flagship phones that you might be trying to decide between right now. If you haven't watched the other reviews already, be sure to check them out on my channel. But I've been using the HTC One M8 for a week now, so it was review time. You might have seen last year's review of the HTC One. I thought it was a very good device, very smooth, very nice. It just had a few design flaws really, and a few other things that bugged me. I think I preferred it over the S4, but these few things made me go with the S4 because it was a safer option. So I was quite interested to see how I got on with the HTC One M8, and generally I've really enjoyed it. I don't think the design issues, or I want to call them flaws, design elements really bugged me. Maybe I'm a bit more open-minded. Maybe I've tried lots of different phones now and I'm kind of used to these design elements perhaps. So well, anyway, let's get on with the actual review. So we're going to start off looking at the overall design. I think you'll probably agree it's a beautiful looking phone really. This one's, I think it's called Gunmetal Grey, and it feels good. It feels slightly kind of plasticky, but it is metallic. It's a reasonable weight. It's 160 grams, so it definitely feels good in the hand. Strangely, I thought I wanted a phone with a Z2 style slabber phone, but actually, I don't know, maybe it's just a little bit too big perhaps. I don't know, the M8 feels better in the hand than the Z2 for my money. This or the S5 might be a tricky decision. I find the S5 is a bit larger, a bit thinner. If that's what you prefer, you might maybe prefer the bit of weight, the bit of oomph behind it. Makes it feel a bit more premium, some people say. I disagree. I don't think heavy means premium, but each to their own, and each to their own opinion on that. Some of the things that are quite different. So there's a power button is on the top of the device. I have to say, I found that quite annoying. That's not my preference. Headphone jack on the bottom, which initially is kind of annoying, but when you get used to it, I think it's probably the better place for the headphone jack. Normally, obviously you're holding your phone like so, the cable comes out the top and then ends up coming back this way anyway. So if it just comes out the base of the phone, off it goes. It's it's out of the way basically. So you just need to get used to putting it into your pocket with the headphone cable coming straight out the top and lifting out like so. So it's just a bit of getting used to. I think it's actually the better place for it. Obviously volume rocker on the one side. The SIM card and the micro SD card are on the little Jettison. Let me get my SIM card removal tool. So this is the, oh, it's not going to like that I'm ejecting that, sorry. SD card automatically removed, sorry. Oh, I can barely get it out, there we go. So that's quite a snug fit, that is. It's good use of space there. Sorry, off you go. And the SIM, let me turn off so it doesn't keep getting upset. Well, I say turn off, it's HTC's version of turn off. It will shut down very quickly and it will boot up very quickly. I don't know how I feel about me taking out the... Now it's a nano SIM. Now almost amusingly, you can see how small that is. I've got the nano SIM, so that's the size, the outer bit of the black there is the size of a micro SIM, and the gap in the middle is the nano SIM, so you can kind of get a rough idea how much smaller it is. So that's in there like so. Almost amusingly, I've been pestering EE to send me a new micro SIM because I've had to cut down to a nano SIM for a different phone, and it's a pain having to use the adapter all the time. So I was a bit annoyed when I bought my new S5 or upgraded or started a new contract. They gave me a nano SIM by mistake. So I've been pestering to send me a micro SIM. Now I'm glad they didn't, because I needed a nano SIM again for this. So we're going to turn this on now and watch how quickly it comes to the home screen. Well, I'll say that. There you go. So it did have the message there about there being no SIM card, so I think it still does do things. Oh, I've got no signal. What have I done to it? There you go, signal's back. As you can see, it does 4G. Obviously, I'd be very surprised and disappointed if it didn't. So I know one of the things that annoyed me before was the rounded back. Maybe it's just I've not really used it in the same kind of situations. It's not bothered me this time, and it does feel nice in the hand. So there's that to bear in mind. The speakers, we're getting onto hardware really to an extent here, but the speakers I think are very good, very good. I mean, obviously I think they're probably known for their for their decent speakers. I'm gonna just
with the beat trimmed and wing. Heavy and larger, silver spurs to rap. On the road to the riches, more furs to grab.
and when you get to things like podcasts,
of SoftBank, Masayoshi's son, and of course, SoftBank owns Sprint.
Owns Sprint, right?
And T-Mobile is.
that, to me, that's a great sound. That's a really well-rounded sound. It's not too tinny. There's a bit of bass. The music has an element of bass, but obviously it's not very strong. You can't expect miracles out of such small speakers. But again, as I've said, I do listen to a lot of podcasts. I do use my phone on voice speaker mode when I'm making calls sometimes, and the speakers really are very good. Probably the only device I think that's really challenged my Note 3. Again, some people don't think speakers are very important. They don't listen to podcasts. They don't use speakerphone. Fair enough, but I'm just saying, for those of us that do, to me it's very important, and it's very good. Or they are very good, being dual. So let's move to the actual hardware. It's a quad-core 2.3 GHz Crate 400 CPU. It's the Snapdragon 801 chipset, and it's the Adreno 330 GPU with 2 GB of RAM. So kind of the standard. That's what most users. I think a couple of them have 3 GB of RAM. The Z2 perhaps has 3 GB of RAM, but everything else. The S5 is I think 2.5 GHz rather than 2.3 GHz, but generally that's our kind of new standard. As is the 19 by 20 by 1080 display on 5 inches. Is 441 pixels per inch, and this is a Super LCD screen, so obviously it's not Super AMOLED or the things like Samsung prefers, but personally I think it's a very good screen. I don't know how well, I'm never sure how well this shows on camera really, to be honest. I should watch them on my own videos, I suppose. Obviously 441 pixels per inch is going to be crystal clear, as you would expect, but I think the colour balance is pretty good as well. Now I'm on quite a sort of dull theme really. Let me see. I like that you can switch the themes very easily. We're going to switch to that one. Let apply. Yeah. You see that's kind of orange buttons and such. Orange wallpaper. Go into settings. It's orange highlights, shall we call them? I like that. I like that you can switch the theme so easily. But yeah, I just generally think the colours work very well. Let's have a look at a picture where you perhaps, oh shush, get an idea of the colours, and that's still a bit dark I suppose. Anyway, I like the screen, very nice screen. I've mentioned the speakers. It does have a built-in FM radio. I'm not going to be able to use it without my headphones plugged in, I don't think. I don't even know how. Yeah, you must plug in a headset or can't do anything, unfortunately. You know what a radio is surely, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Now, I went in briefly into the gallery app. The camera, I've opened the app. Let's have a look at so dual 4 megapixels cameras with, I think, is that a dual LED flash? I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I think it is. Or it's something about, is this the one that has the LED that's supposed to sense the colour and try and balance things? So yeah, dual 4 megapixel. Now, two very important things there. One is the dual, one is the 4 megapixel. Dual because there's two. Why would you want two, I hear you ask? It's so you can do funky things like 3D and what's the other one? To change the focus on a photo. So Lytro is the big well-known camera where you can do that big expensive thing, and HTC has tried to sort of copy that really, using the two different cameras. So the other point, 4 megapixel. Now that concerns me a little bit. That's not a lot of megapixels. Obviously they did it with the HTC One last year, and generally, apart from dark areas, sorry, people weren't that impressed by the camera, and generally people aren't impressed that much by it this year. I guess I would agree. I think we're at a point now where most cameras are they're all very good. You know, you look at a picture and you're never kind of thinking, oh no, doesn't look so good. Oh, switched it around. Hello me. Tap to start countdown. So I actually quite like, you can just sort of swipe. Let's do that again, look. Oh, maybe. Maybe not. Oh, is it that way? Okay. That's a little annoying that you've got to go only one direction. One direction? There's my Canon camera. People ask what camera do I use when I'm filming. There it is. Canon S110. I've lost my train of thought now. So, right, camera app. It seems to have let's click a sort of sample photo. That's not focusing, that's focused. that was pretty quick. You know, it's got a fast shutter release. I think on the stats it's up there with the others, kind of half a second or so. If we tap, right, we've got options in here and we've got settings there. Nothing particularly different here. Auto smile capture, touch to capture, so when you tap it it's going to take the photo. So nothing kind of hugely different. We go into this one here to bring up now. I thought there might be more options, but there's not. It's just those 6. Now Zoe, you probably know about, is HTC's funky. It takes like 20 pictures, but also kind of like a video, and it picks out the best one, and then this, that, and the other. Selfie, is that really any different to just tap to start the countdown? Now, which way did I swipe? There we go. I find it a little annoying. There's separate video mode. I want, like the others have, where I've got 2 buttons on the same screen. One is for video, one is for camera. It's quite annoying when you put it on and you're like, oh wait, I'm in video mode and I've got to switch it back through to camera and all that malarkey. Dual captures front and back, pan 360, that's kind of the funky globe, you know, the photosphere type pictures. So now let me show you, let's go into, that's one I did earlier. So here's a photo I took earlier today of my bike. I'm going to select edit. So we're on effects to start with. We can focus, so we can be specific about where we want it to focus. It started on this one off there. I'm going to tap on the bike itself. You see how the bike is now sharp in focus and it's kind of blurred out the background. I'm going to tap somewhere else to reverse that. So that's quite good. I quite like that. I'm not going to save it. That's one I've already saved. Then we do foregrounder, so it basically does a funky effect in the outer focus area, really, I suppose. So again, yeah, that's quite cool. You've got the zoom blur thing, that's kind of cool as well. Cartoon looks kind of cool. You see how it does a cartoon effect on everything behind. So yeah, kind of cool. And colorize, similar thing, kind of black and whites out. It was a shame. I was looking for kind of like more settings like strength, so you could really go really black and white in the back area and really bright colours in the front, but it's not. It's still kind of, I mean, it's almost a bit dull. That's a nice bright red, but it doesn't do so much with it. Then actually, no, I've not really looked at seasons. I think it's just funky. Yeah, okay, maybe. And then here we go with the 3 dimension. Now at the minute it's tilt to see 3D effect. I'm going to just swap it to swipe to see 3D effect. So there's my picture, my 4 megapixel picture. And we can basically, I mean, it's kind of cool. I don't particularly see a massive, you know, need for it. So I don't know if I'm being overly fussy, but look how that red micro or whatever it is gets stretched and pulled. And maybe I'm kind of expecting too much. You know, it's not magic. It knows that general area is in the foreground and the bit around it is in the background. It's just kind of putting it, you know, look at that, look at the pavement there. So I don't know, it's kind of cool, it's kind of funky. Maybe it'll make some people go, ooh, that's cool. But I don't know, maybe the 3D is not the better effect. Maybe the foregrounder is actually the better effect. You know, that I think does look quite cool, or is quite a cool effect, shall we say. Oopsie. Switch it over to cartoon mode. Oh. Colorize. You know, that's a pretty smart effect that you couldn't do without the dual camera. I'm torn between, was it a waste of time or is it like quite a funky thing that I'd like to see on more cameras. The 3D I don't like so much. This being able to separate the foreground from the background I do think is quite cool and could lead to some quite arty photos basically. One of my favourite photos on my bike is where the bike's still in colour and everything else is in black and white. Well, this almost does that for you. I don't know. I leave it up to you to decide, I suppose, really. But all in all, the camera, I mean, that's obviously, you can see that's a regular photo. You know, that's good, it's fine. There's no, can we zoom in here? there's no real problems. Even though it's only 4 megapixels, you can zoom in quite well, and it still looks, you know, it still looks pretty good. Video is fine. There is a separate video sample. What I would say about the video, just go into video, is the focus still I find a little bouncy. I just don't know if we're going to see it. You know, that was pretty normal. I did find it kind of bouncing in and out a little bit. Also, nope, sorry. Settings, I want, there we go. Somewhere. Lock focus during record. This was what caused me to send back my original HTC one last year, like 3 times back to HTC, saying it won't focus when I'm filming. And then I realised they lock the focus by default. Why would you do that? When you're videoing, why would you want the focus not to change at all? I do not understand why they would have that. Anyway, let's not get ranting. Wasted a lot of time, a lot of postage, and then I realised there's a bleeding setting you have to turn on. Please focus while I'm videoing. No, let's not go. Let's move on. So, yeah, that's it with the camera, really, I suppose. I don't like there's not, so again, like you have to go back in. Oops, you have to go back into this and go back to camera. I don't like that. Put 2 buttons. Why would you not put 2 buttons? 4 megapixels. Yeah. So, I'll let you decide on the camera. What is going on here? Look. Okie dokie. So this brings me on to the software. Now, one of the things here, Testy. I call it Testy. My imaginary kid is called Testy. Testy free weekly app. Subject: attention and listening. So we go into this. Let's see what it is. Okay, all right, whatever. Let's come back out again for the moment. Actually, I said come back out, please. Right, but I'll show you while we're kind of looking at. There is a kid mode basically. So there's the parent dashboard where we get to set like my year of birth, for example, and that apparently is the password that lets me come out of kid mode.
Zoodles.
Zoodles! Yep, I'm Testy. Oh, easy. Flaming A, it's loud, isn't it? These speakers. So start off on games.
Start playing.
In...
Drag the blue stripe
Alright.
to see more games.
Shush. When I was setting up parent mode, it asked me how old is Testy, or what year he was born, I think, sorry, and then it recommended what I've got installed, the apps that Testy might like to play. In this case, which is Angry Birds. So I've only got a couple of games on here. One of them is 100 Balls or something like that. And I guess they don't know all the games in the Play Store, so they're only going to have a few of the more popular ones, and they'll try and decide what age range they suit. So, sure enough, Angry Birds though. And it says play other games, but...
When you're done playing this game, tap the blue Z to play other games.
Alright, get on with it. But this is just, surely it's just a video, I think. How is this a game?
PBS Kids.
Clifford, the Big Red...
Great kind of band.
How is that a game? That's what I find a bit odd.
Tap here. Art.
Art. We can't change any of them.
Storybook.
Storybooks.
When you're done reading this
Casey
book,
at
tap
the
here
bat.
to see more books.
Just get on with it, will you?
Hi, my name is Jason. I'm on the Zoodles educational team, and I'm going to read you Casey at the Bat. Story adapted by Zoodles, illustrated by Rue. It looked extremely rocky for the Mudville 9 that day.
I think it's a good idea.
A straggling few got up to go, leaving
And you can even... Now what I'm...
rest.
Record
With
your
that hope, which springs eternal within the human breast.
What
For
did he
they
say?
thought, if only Casey
Anyway,
get a whack at that.
so
They'd put up even money now.
so basically, yeah, you can record yourself reading. I don't know if it's like any book or just the. I don't know why you can't swipe on the books themselves. You have to do the. Anyway, this seems to be quite a lot. Well, that's 3 little pigs. Oh, a little bit. All right, cool. Then we can send video messages to our
Video
friends. Way.
Favorites.
So I guess generally it's quite a good idea.
Tap the green arrow to play more
Now this I think is a bit weird. So I've said my kid, I think he's 7, and all he's got to learn to get out of it is what year I was born in. Now that's not going to be the hardest thing for him to find out, surely. Anyway, let's move on to the software. I kind of jumped into that because it popped up and was telling me about it. Obviously, well, I think it's obvious, we're running 4.4.2. I forget now where I need to go to see that. Come back. Did that actually come back? Software information, sorry, that'll be it. Look. 4.4.2 with HTC version 6.0. I quite like the HTC's Sense UI in this. It's relatively subtle. When I say subtle, it's not drastically different to stock Android really now. I like all, oopsie daisy. I like all the toggles in the other side of the panel. Most of them with a settings button takes you straight to the settings for that particular element. Likewise with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and all the others. So I quite like that. It's quite good. It's quite clever. Well, not clever. It's just quite good. We get extreme power saver mode, which apparently you can go like 15 hours and use just 5%. I'm guessing it basically shuts the whole phone down there when your screen goes off, and that means don't turn your screen on. We get to alter how many panels we want, and we get to say which one. I thought originally, because initially it was like that, and I didn't realise, I thought that my home panel had to always be that one on the left, because then you've got blink feed just to the side of it. It's only quite late that I realised actually you can change whichever one you want to be home. You drop it on there, look. But actually I do want that one to be home, but I just want it in the middle. So that's fine, that's quite good. All our widgets along the bottom here, no problems there. The app drawer scrolls vertically rather than horizontally, but again, just takes a little bit of getting used to and you're fine. You can have your most recent installed apps, I think, rather than used. Alphabetical is a fairly obvious way to go, really. Hide, unhide apps, manage apps, that's just obviously in the settings. So blink feed, it's gone orange because I'm on the orange theme. I'm logged into things like Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus. Nice picture. What the hell, Mr. Tyndall? What's going on there? I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so I actually quite like Blink Feed. It just kind of amalgamates all of your social media, and then also you get to decide on kind of different topics that you like. So I've got sports in there, I've got Formula 1 and SB Nation, and in gaming I've got these two, look. And in science and technology I've got T3, The Verge, and everybody's. So you get to choose a few of the ones that are kind of thrown in there as well. Some of HTC's own stuff, like tips and help. So it gives you bits of stuff, you can play a video on that. Nice. If we wanted to see what this post was itself, we tap on it, it's going to load Google Plus. So yeah, all in all, I mean, I don't use it a lot. I'm not a big social media hound, but actually, it's quite a nice way just to mix everything in to the one, to the one feed. I assume there's probably regular apps that do this for you. Actually, let me know please in the comments if someone knows. Yeah, that's so and so app does this for you, because I quite like it. Maybe a widget that did this for me wouldn't be a bad option. It's not, it's not too imposing. It doesn't get in the way. We can just slide back onto our home screens and there we go. I suppose on other launches you maybe have Google Now in that place, so it kind of misses Google Now. But I quite like it. I switched themes already, seen how quick and easy that is. That's quite nice. Now there's also, if I can remember where on earth, let's go into settings. There's wake up gestures, display and gestures, motion launch. Yep, so motion launch gestures, bypass screen security. So we get double tap. We get swipe left, pick up the phone in portrait orientation, and swipe left to wake the phone and launch the widget panel. Swipe right to wake the phone and launch blink feed. Swipe up to unlock. Swipe down to turn on voice dialing. Now, so let me just show you. What I was finding, quite often I will hold my phone like that. Well, it's not going to do it now. And so I've done it there. And I was just finding it was too easy for me to accidentally turn the screen on. Interesting, that's not... I felt it vibrate then, but it didn't actually turn on. Just a moment. Go away.
No matches found.
Ain't
Please
it?
say that again.
Stuff you. Because I actually quite like double tap to wake. With the power button being on the top, which I find a bit annoying, I did really like tap to wake. More and more devices these days are doing it. but I just found too often it was turning on when I was just kind of like handling it and doing things. I won't do it at all now, but you have to trust me, it was doing it too often. And I thought it a little bit weird that you couldn't, can we go back to that same settings? No, because I came out of them. I found it a little bit weird that you couldn't turn on or off. Oh wait, where did it go? You can't turn off individual, so I can't say, so this just tells you what it is when you tap on it. I forgot. You can't say, right, I just want double tap, that's all I want. You know, if there were tick boxes down that side, to me that would be ideal. For some reason there's not. You have to have them all or nothing. So I did actually turn them off after a couple of days because, like I say, I was turning the phone on without meaning to. We have a few other modes, like car mode looks sorry there. It doesn't really integrate with Google Play Music though. You can add Google Play Music as one of the apps, but it doesn't then sort of recognise that you are playing Google Play Music and turn up there. When you tap navigation, it says, right, what type of navigation? I want Google Maps navigation. So that's, you know, that's quite good. It's integrated well. All other. So if I said bar, it's going to look them up on Google Maps. So I like that they're not trying to do their own thing. They just understand that. I don't quite know why. So bars appears in the search bar, but it doesn't actually search it, from what I can tell. So when you're driving, that's the last thing you want, is to actually have to then, oh, where's that and where's the enter key? You know, you want to just be able to. Maybe I could have just. Could I just tap a? No, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, the car mode, not bad. I assume we can get it to auto launch with using the NFC perhaps built in. Yes, I want to close this app. So all in all, the software, I think it's pretty good. I like that companies like HTC and Sony, they're realising that actually keep it fairly close to stock Android isn't a bad thing. Having said that, I'd quite like some of Samsung's bloat that links into my Gear Fit, my phone, my watch, for example. But no, all in all, I think HTC have done quite a good job with the software on this. So then we have the battery, which is 2,600 milliamp hours. Now, compared to phones kind of, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, that was pretty huge, to be honest. But we got the S5, was it 2,800, and the Z2 was 3,000, or was it even maybe 3,200. This is actually the smallest battery of the three. Having said that, to me it works, you know, very well. 42% there. Let's see if we can get into power. So history shows us a bit of a graph. We can, I think, oh no, maybe we can't. I'm sure it was yesterday. What's going on there? So it is sliding. So we've done 14 hours. Since I've been recording this video, I've hammered it quite a lot because the screen's been on the whole time. I cannot find, somebody please tell me, how do I find the screen on time? So you go into usage, and it told me Blink Feed's quite high usage. Gallery is, Talon is, and all these things. Tell me Wi-Fi, but where's my screen on time? Where's my screen? I don't get it. There's the option for fast boot, look. Also we get the option for showing the battery percentage, which I think is a good option. They've realised that people want to see the exact actual percentage, not just some funky battery icon that doesn't really mean a lot. There we got the power saving with an extreme power saving. Put phone in extreme power saving mode to extend battery life. Automatically turn on extreme power saving mode when the battery life reaches the level I specify. So you can say, right, when it gets to 5%, turn that sucker on. So here we go, look. Turning on extreme power saving. So it turns down the CPU, it reduces the screen brightness, it turns off vibration feedback, turns off data connection when the screen is off, allowing only essential apps to run, and it turns off the pedometer. I've got to be honest, I didn't realise there was a pedometer. So it does turn off a lot of things, but generally that's going to work fairly, you know, normal. You won't necessarily get. Oh, are we going to power? We're going to it now, are we? I thought I was saying, and it's actually gone into a whole different. What the chuff? Different launcher with a black background, everything, giving just the essential. No, I don't like it. Come, hello, thank you. What did it just tell me? So it's turning on. So then the final thing is hackability. I've had a look about on the XDA developers website, and I see there's a reasonable selection of the HTC based ROMs, but there's also, unlike the Z2, quite a selection of AOSP ROMs like Paranoid Android and CyanogenMod. So those of you that prefer the old stock look and stock feel and stock everything, then Well, actually, for real stock, there's the Google Play Edition, which I assume can't be too hard to put onto this. You know, it is out there, it is available to be bought, the Google Play Edition HTC One M8, so it can't be that tough to install it on there. So that brings me to my conclusion. I guess one of the points, you know, when I use these devices for a week or so, at the end, when I'm nearing the end of the week, I'm either sad to be giving it back, or I'm looking forward to getting back to my daily driver, which at this point is the Note 3. With the Z2, I couldn't necessarily explain why, but I was looking to be done with it. I wanted to move off onto another device. With the HTC One M8, I've not really. I've been quite enjoying it. If I was to... I wouldn't be upset if someone said, actually, I'm taking your Note 3 back instead, you're staying with the HTC One M8. I'd be like, yeah, fair enough, I can live with that. There's a few things that disappoint me, but even then, I say, like, I was going to say the camera, 4 megapixel camera, but actually, it produces pretty good photos. There's never anything actually wrong with the photos. The Z2, maybe I've not tested the M8 as well, I suppose. I've not really had it in dark scenarios. I've not been out clubbing with it and things like that, which I did with the Z2. So, I don't know, maybe more vigorous testing might have shown more issues, but on the whole, it's not really let me down. Every time I've taken a picture, it's looked pretty good. There are some pretty funky effects in there, but the 4 megapixel. I mean, I had a Nexus 1 over 4 years ago that had more megapixels than this does. That just seems a little bit odd. But it's a gorgeous looking device. It's very slick, it's very smooth. I mean, that was the benefit of last year's HTC One. It was so smooth. I don't know quite how, to be honest, how HTC do this and the others don't. So credit to them for that, for making it so smooth. All in all, really nice device. Depending if you're an iPhone user and you're looking to swap over and the look of your device is important, I don't think you can go far wrong with the HTC One M8, really. I mean, look at that. Surely you're going to agree that's a nice looking phone. It's plenty quick enough. It's got a good enough camera. It's got some funky little features on there to impress people. The speakers are amazing. If they're important to you, that's a real plus. So for me, the HTC One M8 does get a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts. I'll be interested to hear. Otherwise, I'll catch you all again soon, probably from a different location, because I'll be moving house in the next week or two. My name's Andy. I'll catch you all again soon.